Welcome to Rice TVX and the newest episode of the Rice Crypto Show. Today, I am joined by Deezy. He is one of the hosts of Around the Blockchain as well as one of the co-hosts of NFT Alpha. He's involved in many numerous NFT projects. What's next for crypto and NFTs? Going to get started here shortly. Make sure you smash that like button and make sure you are subscribed and give me a 5x5 if you can hear. This whole time, I thought everybody could hear me, but no, you could not hear me because I had myself muted. And what I was trying to let people know is that yesterday I did a live stream with Bitcoin Ben. So if you did not happen to catch that live stream, make sure you check that one out. And tomorrow I will be going live with Crypto Jack at 2 p.m. Eastern time here on Rice TVX. So make sure you tune in for that. But as always, before we begin, a few quick messages from the sponsors of Rice TVX who make it possible for me to do this full time. Shout out to Monarch Wallet and Presearch. Before we get into it, make sure you visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVX and Rice Against the Grain content. You will also find links to all of my various channels as well as my social media. Make sure you're following both of my YouTube channels, Rice TVX as well as Rice Against the Grain. And due to censorship, make sure you follow me on other alternative platforms such as Rumble and Odyssey, where I do post up exclusive content. If you want to support Rice TVX, be sure to check out and join my Patreon channel, where you will get early access to my videos with no ads, unedited. You will also get exclusive content and more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in for today's live stream. I am going to go ahead and bring in our guest in just a moment, my fellow North Carolinian, Mr. Deezy. He is the host of Around the Blockchain and NFT Alpha. I have links down below for everything we're going to be talking about today. In addition to his very first appearance, he did come on the show. It's been a while, but he did come on an episode of Crypto Rewind, and I do have that link down below in the video description. But without further ado, I am joined by Deezy. What's going on, my friend?
Man, it's going well. I'm feeling honored to be here, part of the studio. Thank you for having me on. Rice TVX, big fan, buddy.
Thank you, man. No, and obviously, like when you started getting involved with BitBoy Crypto and you started doing Around the Blockchain, I mean, I think you were one of the ones that was really suggesting getting me on the program. And since then, I've been pretty much a staple weekly. So I appreciate, man. And I appreciate all the support. I appreciate everybody. And it's actually kind of cool to see a different perspective of some of the studio there.
Yeah, I'm in our gaming headquarters right now. This is where we you might recognize some of the sharper-eyed people, Bit Squad members. This is the blockchain basement set, and you get to see the side view of it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because normally I see it from the front perspective of the couch.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it looks a little messy. I mean, you can see like off camera, it's just wires and loose. I think there's like a dog turd over there somewhere. It's bad.
Nice. Let me get ahead and get a screen share pulled up, which has your Twitter account. So people
I'm almost at 40K.
Almost you're killing me, man. You're killing
Man,
me.
it's all
I think
Cardano
I have
NFT
less
stuff from
than
a year ago.
8,000 probably.
It's literally all NFT people.
And then I'll have links down below for NFT Alpha, for Around the Blockchain, and for JPEG Junkies, because I do want to talk about JPEG Junkies. But I am going to ask you a repeat question, a couple of repeat questions, if you don't mind, for people who may have missed it the very first time you were on, like over a year ago.
Yeah, it was a while. After I said, I was like, wait a minute, no, yeah, this is all new though. This like whole thing, I want to say, right?
My setup?
Yeah, no, we're like in the core of the Earth thing.
Oh yeah, that is new.
Oh,
That is new. I do
sure,
like that background. It's just I like the colors on it. It really caught my eyes. So, when and how did you get in crypto?
I stayed on the sidelines for years because I saw people have issues. One buddy, he lost his Bitcoin on a hard drive. Same person lost Mt. Gox Bitcoin. Also, it's just 4chan was where I learned about it, and to me, my brain, connected 4chan to a scam. So stayed on the sidelines for way too long. But then I finally started educating myself about it around 2017, maybe a little bit before then, but it was with the big price rally. I think I jumped in, a lot of interest when it first hit about 5K, 10K. And I wanted to buy, of course, but it just seemed like, man, I feel like I missed the boat. And I don't remember where. I want to say it was from Reddit. I learned about the 4-year cycle, and I learned about the halving. And I saw a price chart with the halving cycle. Now, this is pre 20K. So, I can't even remember what it looked like without it being, logarithmic or whatever. But I remember seeing like, oh, there seems to be a clear correlation with the halving. And back then I thought like it pumped kind of at the halving, not, 6 months before or whatever. So I just remember thinking in 2017, don't forget about this thing. Don't forget that there's a halving coming up, and don't forget to scale back in because, it looks like it should be going down any second. But then it hit 10K, then it hit 12K, then it hit 16K, then it hit 20K. Then it started to fall. Then I started jumping in probably 6 months after that. It was going down. It went down when you pull up your, those early Coinbase trades. It's like you can see the price, and then it started to go up. So I didn't jump in at the bottom, but came in probably 6 months from the bottom.
So how do you go from Magic the Gathering? Because you seem to be like, I don't know if you were a professional Magic the Gatherer. I don't know how you put that, how you would phrase that correctly.
That's good as way as any. I actually like that. I was a professional Magic the Gatherer. No, I was an esports gamer. I saw a lot of opportunity in the Magic the Gathering space. There wasn't really anybody electrifying. Wasn't anybody super entertaining. There wasn't really any over-the-top personalities. If you think of, and maybe you don't know what a Magic the Gathering is. It's kind of like a turn-based game like Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's similar to chess. And so if you were to think, all right, I want to think of a tournament in a random city in America. We'll just say Milwaukee, and in a convention center on a Saturday, who shows up for a chess tournament? If you think of that picture, it's not a bunch of Ryan Seacrest types, right? It's not like Carson Daly, in the mid-90s. It's a bunch of maybe introverted, less outgoing, more quiet type people, logical thinking people, not, no slapstick comedian style personalities. And I saw other genres, I saw Fortnite, Call of Duty, just chatting. I don't even know what was IRL back then. They had good streamers. Magic the Gathering had no good streamers. It was a bunch of boring people being quiet. There's a couple good ones, but, but by and large, they were all pretty bad. And so I just said, I can do better than literally everybody. And so I just ordered the equipment off Amazon, and I just started streaming, man. It's just, I learned as I went. I upgraded my equipment as I went. I learned about how to set up Streamlabs and OBS, and I did small upgrades over time, and eventually ended up growing into one of the top Magic the Gathering channels, including I had the world's #1 MTG TikTok as well. And then from that, I was going to make a trading card game on the blockchain, a NFT based TCG. So something like a Yu-Gi-Oh, something like a Pokemon, something like a Magic Gathering. But we were going to do it, and it was BitBoy was going to do it with his Bit Squad. Was it Bitverse, his Bitverse characters. And I was a Bit Squad member. I was watching Ben, CEO of Facts on TikTok, saw his live stream, got addicted like a lot of people, late 2020, early 21. I'm watching him all the time. And I heard him talking about this NFT trading card game. I literally found TJ's Twitter, cold messaged him on Twitter, said, hey, look, here's how I am. You can see my TikToks. I'm putting them on Twitter. I kind of am going viral here. I kind of got bona fides in this space. You should bring me on board to help build your trading card game. And he's like, come on out, man. Come on out. And basically, I just packed my car, drove across the country, and lived in a hotel for 2 weeks while kind of did like a trial period.
That's a pretty cool story, though, man, how that works out. I mean, going from being like a viewer, part of the community, to making your way to working at the studios and being involved in a lot of different parts. I mean, you're involved in a lot of the BitBoy Crypto morning shows. You host the majority of Around the Blockchain. That's a whole new channel. Speaking of that, I do want to let people know that we will be ending this live stream about 4:40 by 4:45, because I want people to make sure that they are taking time to tune in to today's episode of Around the Blockchain, which will be at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So we will be done before that, because Deezy is going to be hosting that. And also, heads up that I'll be on ATB tomorrow.
Nice. I'll give them a heads up on the topics. We're talking Chili's. We're talking money markets, got 5 trillion, and FTX film production begins. That ought to be good.
What, for a movie?
Yeah. I think they broke ground on the production now.
Wow.
Because the options, both options, it's 2 different options. I think they were bought, very quickly, like 2 months ago, probably. So within weeks of the whole thing kind of blowing up, 2 different studios had bought rights for it. I think one's a film, one might be a limited series.
Okay. I had to look into that. So NFT Alpha, I noticed there hasn't been any videos put out recently. What's going on with the channel?
Well, we're building out Voomio. Voomio is kind of the big thing me and Justin Williams are working on. I'm a part of the Voomio team. And so we're kind of separating ourselves from promoting any kind of projects. And even if it's, we're just kind of going over, hey, we pulled up Cardano stats and here's the top 10 projects. Here's number 1 as far as 24-hour daily volume. It'll come across like we're trying to promoting it, especially if I say anything positive, like, oh yeah, I do like this project. I actually minted it. And then say I sell it on Voomio 4 weeks later, that could be an issue. So it's mostly legal advice. We do have a strong legal team with Voomio. We have the same legal team as Binance. And so they were just like, look, you got to be kind of careful with this. You don't want to pull a Nate Chastain. And that's the OpenSea employee who caught front running his platform. And obviously I would never do anything like that. But what if something happened accidentally? What if I sold it on a Monday and then we signed a deal on a Tuesday to get something spotlighted? Say I forgot about it, say it was 3 weeks ago and I don't even remember. We have so many spotlighted NFT collections and I sell it. That could be looked as, something maybe not, SEC might not like that.
Well, I knew you guys were doing like an NFT marketplace, but I wasn't even thinking about the confliction. That makes sense. So is the channel done? Is it going to focus on what you guys are doing specifically, or are there maybe even going to be different hosts?
That's a possibility. We actually almost did that. The guy didn't end up working out. He's in England. We love the guy. His name's Crypto Mayhem. We still might do that. Maybe you see Taco doing it. Maybe you see, different person doing it in the future. And, we still might say, hey, here's just some broad NFT news, like, look, what's happened. Trump NFTs, maybe do a little fun, lighthearted story or something. But yeah, just no content lately. I'm actually thinking about resurrecting the old personal YouTube.
Okay, cool. Like doing something like on your own, or that would
be just
part
like broad macro stuff. Talk about Voomio, talk about JPEG Junkies, maybe even talk about the week's episodes on ATB. Just nothing crazy. Just kind of like more for fun rather than like, hey, tune into me every day at 10 a.m. More just like a side hobby, or maybe just get this engagement going as we gear up for 24 or 25.
Sweet. What's the deal with Voomio? What is Voomio and when's it going to be launching? Any
Voomio
plans?
is our NFT marketplace. Hopefully we have the beta coming out in the next month or two. It's going to launch. We have Cardano, Polygon, and Ethereum. It's going to be the first NFT marketplace combining Cardano and Ethereum. We think this is huge. And it has an aggregator on there. So it's your one-stop shop. You don't have to buy from us to use us. So you can just go, let's just say Space Buds is a Cardano project. Probably half the Space Buds are on JPEG Store. The other half are on spacebuds.io, I think it is, where similar to CryptoPunks, they have their own marketplace where they trade. And so it's a little annoying. You're like, oh, I'm going here. I'm trying to look there. Is it here? Same thing with Ethereum. Okay, is it on OpenSea as the best price, or is it LooksRare, or do I need to go to this aggregated site? And then that site has a link to the marketplace. Click that. Now it transfers me. Now I'm over here. Now I got to reconnect my wallet. We just are a one-stop shop, aggregates everything. The first aggregating marketplace on Cardano. We think that's going to be really big. And it's And we're going to have some Discord-like features where teams can communicate to members. So we don't want you to have to bounce here and go to this chain, and now I got to do this wallet, and now I got to go off of here and link this up, and now I'm checking this. So it's just, you're going to be your one-stop shop, make everything really simple. You go to Voomio.io and sign up for the beta.
Is it so VUMIO?
VOOMIO, Voomio.io.
VOOMIO.io?
Yep. And
make a song out of that.
Like, got a purple thing. You'll see NFTs kind of go in 2 different directions, 3 rows. That's it right there, buddy.
Yeah, I got to pull it up. I didn't even know.
So if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see where you could put your email in. You'll get a confirmation email. That's our little mascot, Vincent. We have a statue of him. We commissioned a pretty cool mutant ape video.
I saw the statue. That thing looks sick.
Statue's sick.
That looks sick.
Yeah. So we're doing some pretty cool marketing. We're trying to be entrenched in the Web3 world. We don't want to just kind of put our foot in it. We want to eat, sleep, and breathe NFTs, and we want people to kind of feel that about us.
Okay, cool. Now, you said it's going to be a marketplace for NFTs for Cardano, Ethereum, and Polygon?
Yes. Yeah, we were going to do Solana. There's some security issues. The dev's still working on it. So rather than a pause launch, we'll maybe put Solana on the roadmap.
Okay, nice. What is the JPEG Junkies and everything going on with the JPEG Junkie project?
Man, JPEG Junkies is another thing with the lawyer stuff. So we did something that maybe some would consider a security-like utility. What we did is, I think it was the month of November, maybe a month off here. So NFTs receive royalties. Everything that's bought and sold, I think we were making 5%. So if something sells for $100, our treasury gains $5. And I think our floor spiked up to 400 at 400 Cardano at this point. So it was $133. So we're making pretty good money, just with the volume. So what we did for the month of November, 100% of the money that we received, we actually did more than a month. We did like 3 days bleeding into the other months. All 36 days of sales money that we received, we airdropped to the holders. And we airdropped them an altcoin, a low cap gem that we think might blow up, might explode. It's Charlie token. C3 is the ticker. Okay. It is essentially the chain link for Cardano. I don't know if they'll beat Chainlink, but if there's a chain that Chainlink will get rejected in, it's a good chance it is Cardano, because they're going to want to do it their way, And so we airdropped everybody. And funnily enough, the amount that we airdropped at the all-time high levels for Charlie token, it basically paid for the entire mint. And so I don't remember what the exact amount of tokens was, but if you did the math, I'm not saying Charlie's going to hit an all-time high again. I think it's likely if Bitcoin hits an all-time high, a lot of alts that are not trash, they're going to hit all-time highs. So we feel pretty good about airdropping, but all this was basically say, we found out after the fact that we said we're going to do an airdrop in the future. We said it's going to be derived from this, and then it's going to be paid out on this date. And we heard that, hey, do not do that again. Do not do that again. And so now we've been told anything that we do like that in the future, which I don't plan on stopping, folks. Okay. I think I could say that. I am not planning on stopping anytime soon doing cool stuff like that. If that's something you might be interested in, I would march over to JPEG store and buy one if that sounds like something cool. Hey, maybe we'll march something into your wallet. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. Probably nothing.
Well, I mean, if you're not giving a promise and people it's just something that you're just kind of throwing in as a bonus. I
guess we did promise. So we're like, hey, this is going to happen. We are going to give this. So it was given as like, hey, this is a promise. So now we just got to be vague and surprise you if we're going to do anything like that.
Damn attorneys, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit tougher when you're not anonymous. It's a little bit tougher when you're connected with BitBoy Crypto. It's a little bit tougher when you're literally naming specific SEC members on a live stream in front of tens of thousands of people and calling them dirty, rotten crooks. Yeah. Maybe I got to be a little more careful than the next guy. Sorry, folks.
Call him like dirty Gary Gensler.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but we got to be careful, man. I'm not going to jail for JPEG Junkies. Just you should have just told us you were going to do that, and then the floor would have gone up. No, I'm going to do it anyways. Maybe. I'm going to do it anyways. I don't,
I
wish
would
the floor
recommend
was
that you
up.
go get that eye problem fixed, though.
Yeah, man, there's some in my eye, man.
Something totally in
Yeah,
your eyes. So
it's an
get that shit
eyelash or
fixed.
something. I'll name it
um,
Charlie, the eyelash.
are you still involved with Pluto Alliance, or
Pluto Alliance,
was there?
I had to basically step away. Taco's kind of quarterback and all that. So Taco's been, being phenomenal with it. There's some really strong community members in there. We got a guy named Jim. He put together the whole cruise essentially. So we have a Pluto cruise happening, I think, around April 17th through the 21st. So that's something to check out. The cheap tickets via the NFTs, that's gone. A lot of people got that for free. Actually, we gave away free cruises to some people. So a lot of that, now you have to buy it through the portal, through the actual link with, I think, Carnival or Caribbean cruises. But if you go to BitBoy Crypto, you'll see cruise at the top. Just click the cruise link and it'll take you there. If you want to join us on the intergalactic cruise, on the BitBoy cruise.
Let me see. I should have BitBoy's website easily
Yeah, I think it's
accessible.
bitboycrypto.com.
Yeah, no, I just had
Yep, there it goes.
Yeah,
cruise
so
in the top middle.
Cruise. So if people are interested, just head over there and hit on
I know the
cruise.
sign up for the cheaper thing is gone, but yeah, registration is over. But now it does have the countdown. You can see cruise, frequently asked questions, register, what's included, agenda. So if you want to learn more, we got the links for you. And hey, it'd be cool if you joined us.
Cool. Okay, so now here's I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on just crypto in general, the markets. I've heard you mentioning Cardano a lot. It sounds like I'm talking to Crypto Crow. Are you becoming a Cardano maxi like Crypto Crow?
Let me sound like Crypto Crow. So Crypto Crow, those who don't know, it's deep baritone and he's 6'8".
No, I'll tell you what it was. I kind of saw the evolution of Cardano firsthand. I remember trying to mint NFTs where you're in a Discord and they say, send us 88 ADA to this address. And we'll send you something in like 10 minutes. Maybe it'll take 2 hours. That was the minting process, and how sketchy it was. There wasn't like a button on a website that says mint now. I remember OpenSeaNFT.io where it was like hey, I kind of want to buy your NFT. And so I'll say I'll buy it, but then you had 24 hours to accept or reject. And if the price changes and fluctuates, you might get screwed, price plummets, they accept your offer because you're away from the computer, you're at work, and then you end up overpaying for something. So I saw the space evolve. I saw the wallets evolve. I saw the NFT marketplaces evolve. I saw the NFT minting experience evolve. I'm seeing the stable coin and the DeFi ecosystem evolve. So part of it was just like I was there early. Maybe Cardano was a little bit more than a wallet, but really wasn't much more than a wallet. And just being there and seeing it, and the community is crazy fervent. And me and you had this discussion where this Cardano conference I just went to and this Litecoin conference you just went to, I was like, man, they were like overly optimistic, overly bullish. I was actually there like popping everyone's balloon, like, no, Bitcoin's going to go lower. I ended up being right. We were right. Like the bearish mentality was the correct mentality. But they didn't think Cardano was going to go to 20 something cents. They're all like, yeah, all-time high, a year away. And I just saw the optimism there compared to other communities. And it's just, if you're hanging out in a party and everyone's like, man, this is the best party, and you go to another party and they say, this party won't be cool for 2 years, you don't want to be at that party. So you want to go to the party where everyone's like, the music's still playing for some reason.
That's a good way of putting it. Do you think Cardano is a superior blockchain to use for NFTs?
No.
What would be your favorite go-to? Are you saying that out of sarcasm?
A little bit, but it's not as cheap as Wax. It's pretty cheap. It's cheaper than Ethereum, but there's definitely things that are cheaper. It's not as cheap as Binance Smart Chain. So they say, oh, it's so much cheaper than Ethereum. Well, other things are so much cheaper to use. So does that make you bad, Cardano? So I don't like to use that argument because it could quickly be turned against Cardano. The NFT minting experience leaves a lot to be desired. I'll say there's strong teams. I love the Claymates, what they're doing. Goombles is an upcoming drop. That's going to be really, really hot. I think the teams and the building and the utility, Barry Alessandro with Space Buds, he's literally the inventor of the Nami wallet. There's real builders, there's real teams, but the smart contracts are still getting written out. It's not quite where it is with Ethereum, if I'm going to be completely honest. It's cheaper, But I always say you get what you pay for. If I have an option for 2 Ubers and me and Rice were in Miami and we got to get back to the Airbnb or the hotel, one Airbnb is $80, and then the other Airbnb is, it's a guy and he says, I'll give you a ride for 80 cents. I'm gonna look at Rice and I'm gonna say, man, I don't want to spend $80, but I'm gonna spend $80. And so you get what you pay for, is what I say.
Yeah. So with that being said, though, do you have like a go-to favorite NFT blockchain?
I mean, I do like Ethereum layer 2 solutions. I mean, you kind of get all the benefits of Ethereum, but then you don't have to pay the high gas fees. Now, you might not have the security, but Immutable X, you're familiar with, of course, Immutable X. I think, their whole experience. My first NFT was Gods Unchained, and I didn't know I was buying NFTs because I think back, this was 2.5 years ago. Back then, I think you didn't even need a wallet. They would hold it for you on your account. And then once you linked a wallet, then you're able to get these assets. And so I think Ethereum, the L2s got really, really good experiences. And honestly, Solana's fine when it worked. I mean, but but it was down 8 times. Okay, but if you look at it mathematically, it probably was on 99.999% of the time. So yeah, if I was trying to mint that one particular moment, maybe it wasn't a great experience. But overall, it seemed pretty fun.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, what are you thinking about Wax? I mean, you did mention Wax.
Now, Wax, honestly, their whole thing with I forget what they call it, but where you have to give money. It's not the best user experience. Where you kind of have to. I forget what they don't call it staking. They don't
Well,
call
it's sort
it
of like where you're kind of taking resources to like CPU and other
the
different
CPU and the RAM. That whole thing's just weird and confusing for newcomers. And I
agree.
balls deep in Wax, and I learned about it, and I did it. I did the work to educate myself, but that is a barrier of entry. Not everyone's going to do that work.
Okay, that makes sense. And I do want to remind people that are watching this that at 5 o'clock, we're going to be ending this in the next like roughly 15 to 17 minutes. And you will be live at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, right after this live stream over on Around the Blockchain.
And then Rice is on the next episode. So make sure you got notifications on so you can catch them tomorrow.
100%, man. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about blockchain gaming because you have mentioned a little bit. Are you is there any projects right now that you're looking at? Any newer blockchain games or older ones?
No, I think the move is the newer games, though. I don't know how high Gala can go with all those Gala nodes, getting all that Gala, and some are selling. Every month they're just dumping what they get. But I talked to a group today. They're accumulating and they're ready to dump, and so that's a lot of sell pressure that's going to have to be overcome for that to hit new all-time highs. I think the key strategy is the newer games. So there isn't anything on my radar right now. If I was to really say, hey, where's there going to be opportunity? It's probably some of these test nets. I don't know if Arweave or ZK or any of these, like there are some test nets. There's some airdrop potential, and there could be some airdrop potential with some of these competing blockchains. I haven't done the research to find one in particular. I wish I could share. But yeah, it's something to catch. And the thing with gaming, you got to get in early and you got to get out early. Otherwise, you're going to get wrecked.
Are you seeing any particular blockchains aside from Gala that you mentioned that's doing well in the gaming element?
I think IMX just signed some another partnership. The problem
X?
with IMX is their market cap is so big. I don't know how much of an upside potential there is compared to maybe some. I think the real upside is going to be these Binance Smart Chain crappy games that have like a $1 to $3 million market cap that end up spiking to a $80 to $100 million market cap, and then they end up crashing to a $300,000 market cap. But you got to get out. You got to get out at the right time. And you don't want to be the one jumping in late.
That makes sense. And you also mentioned maybe doing something on your personal channel and talking about some kind of macro stuff. I mean, since you're around people like Frankie Candles and you hear a lot of chatter about trading and market talk, what are you thinking about the markets? I'm of the impression that I don't feel like the low has been in, the bottom is in yet.
So you're slightly above 50%. We get a new low.
I'm more
Fair.
than 50%. Probably more like
maybe significantly
80,
more. You're well above 50%. That will.
Yeah, I just feel like there's a lot more shit happening economically around the world on a global level that we need to be paying attention to.
Well, I was just listening to Jason Casper yesterday. He brought up a good point. I think it was on the show as well, that we are hitting a double bottom every bear market. And, if there is a double bottom this bear market, will that second bottom be lower? And I would use the 2019, is it 20 or 2018, 2020 example, because Bitcoin did hit low 3000s in around 2019. And then it went all the way up to, I think, 13 or 9, 30. It had a great run. But then March 2020 crash, it hit 3K again, but it hit 3,900. So it was slightly higher. I think we might see something similar play out. Maybe it hits 14K, 12K. Maybe it only hits 16K. I think that could potentially happen. But if we follow previous cycles, that would mean it happens like after we touch 30 first. And it'll trick everybody, and it'll get everybody bullish, and then they think, oh yeah, the bull market's back on. That's when it dumps, and when it hits that new low, that's when everybody turns bearish. You know what? Maybe Bitcoin doesn't hit an all-time high, and then that's when the bull market starts.
That's good analysis. I kind of look at things in a very similar way. It's going to
my problem with that theory though is I'm slightly below 50%. I'm still pretty hardcore on the 4-year cycle. And if we look at past indications of days before the halving and days after all-time high, the November was when we should have a low, which was 15 and change. So if it does happen, I tweeted out, guys, I think there's a good chance this is the bottom. I actually retweeted it probably a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I mean, we'll see if it plays out. I mean, I'm not like 90% sure that was the bottom, but I'm above 50.
Well, the one difference I think we have with the market is that we are in a deflationary environment versus an inflationary environment. So that's going to be the one factor. And that's kind of where I think, honestly, man, like the Federal Reserve, I was talking with Gareth Soloway, who you guys always do stuff with as well. We talked the day, February 1st, the day of the FOMC meeting, right before the information came out, right before Jerome Powell was talking. And I was really saying that I really thought that they were going to go for a 50 basis rate hike because of what has been happening in the markets, because the stock market, even the cryptocurrency market, with where we're supposed to be at in a depression or a recession, you shouldn't have this upward action. It's where we're kind of not in reality. We're in just some other bizarro fucking world.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And now that the job reports will come out where they're saying that, we're doing better than expected. Now the language that I'm getting from Jerome Powell, I even heard him like, if you would have known all the stuff now that then, would you have raised 50 basis points? And I believe you would have. So I think that we have more than 25 basis point rate hikes coming.
Yeah, I can see a significant drop if they do go above, because it does seem like people maybe think one more 25, then maybe some zeros, then maybe, like a typical chart, 75, 75, 75, 50, 25, 0, 0, 0. Then
they'll have to reverse course at some point. 100%.
But yeah, if they go, 25, oh my God, another 50, that'll freak people out. That'll spook people. And I can see a huge dump coming.
And then the other thing I want to ask you, that since you're, in the Hit Network BitBoy office, and you've been around Ben Armstrong with his rallying against FTX. I mean, before all the shit came out, as far as the insolvency and what was going on with FTX, Ben was kind of ringing the alarms, and then the rest. I mean, Ben went down to the Bahamas a couple times. Do you, with you kind of having a little bit more inside information of some stuff that's not gone out publicly, do you feel as if there is any more contagion to come out of the FTX fiasco?
That's a good question.
Because you would have some insight, because I know Ben is like had to hold off on certain information.
I don't ask about what they know from the politicians. I don't ask about his inside sources. It's the long-term fans of the channel, they remember Mr. X, so there's like a storied history with inside sources. And so, just a quick summation. We had an inside source 2 years ago. Phenomenal until it wasn't. And so I'm a little bit hesitant. It's like, oh my God, this guy's right. Again, 3 months in a row. And so you're just like balls deep on your trade on the 4th month. And then the opposite happens. And you felt scorned. You felt like, someone cheated on you. And so now I just don't even ask about his inside sources, man. It's probably a bad thing. I should be utilizing this resource, but I just stay away from that. And I don't want to know about the politician stuff. I don't know if
Right.
they want me in those meetings.
Well, no, I was thinking more of like
other insolvent exchanges, like other.
or other companies that had money tied into the exchange that lost money. Because I mean, there's a whole when I talked to Ben about this, even privately, there's so much to this that even still hasn't really gone out public. As
Yeah,
far as
I
like
don't know.
projects being screwed over, and things to that effect.
There's a lot of big players. There's a lot of powerful people, and we'll see if the sunlight and the disinfectant end up hitting this tumor. I don't know.
Okay, cool. I was just curious what you might have known, because it's a deep situation. It's a deep situation, but I'm curious. I'm really curious about this movie production thing now. This is crazy. Who is do you know who's producing it?
I don't. I know there's the two. There's I think maybe Adam McKay is re-teaming up with the Big Short guy, Michael something. So there is that author. There's the guy who followed him around. That guy optioned something, but then there's a second one, and I don't remember who had those rights, or maybe it was, maybe just an insider, maybe it's a nobody.
Was it the author of the book or movie about the Big Short?
Yeah. So the author is like just coincidentally been following around the 6 months prior to all this.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
Coincidentally. All right, man. Well, I that kind of wraps up pretty much most I wanted to ask
on that. What a psyop, right?
What a psyop.
Yeah, the movie drops 2 years from now, 18 months from now, just in time for that next bull run to start, and it makes people not want to join right when things are about to go on a parabolic run.
That's an interesting way of thinking about it. If it takes that long to come out, we'll see.
Yeah, if it comes out like the equivalent of October 2020, that would keep a lot of people on the sidelines right when they need to be going all in. That's the point where you sell your house.
Well, the good thing is if they portray the movie correctly, then people will walk away realizing that this had nothing to do with cryptocurrency.
Yeah, true.
And it wouldn't have that effect. But if they're going at this with an agenda, with the way they're portraying crypto, I mean, it could have a negative effect. That's interesting, man. All right, so you're going to be going live in 22 minutes. Do you have on around the blockchain, obviously, just so people are very clear about that? I'm going to have links for your Twitter account for everything that we talked about. Go over to my screen, and so we have Voomio. You guys can go over there and sign up for early access to the platform. We're going to have links for NFT Alpha, going to have links for around the blockchain. Again, 5:00 p.m. today. Mr. Deezy will be over there hosting, and I'll be on there tomorrow at 5:00 p.m. I'll have links for JPEG Junkies Twitter account, as well as the cruise information for BitBoy Crypto and the Pluto Alliance cruise and all that good stuff. Before we do wrap up, my friend, do you have any final thoughts? Anything that you want to add?
Yeah. So maybe some people maybe just followed me from Twitter, saw me retweet this, never discovered Rice's channel. Maybe you've never watched Around the Blockchain. I highly recommend smash that like. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. He's putting out a lot of good content that the powers that be don't want you to hear. And so there's just a lot of value in that. And now is the time to be learning these counter narratives.
Well, speaking of that content that YouTube doesn't like, for the most part, I'm trying my best to keep Rice TVX as safe as possible. I mean, there's going to be, obviously I'm going, I'm Rice. So, but I have a new channel. So for people that want to check out the formerly known as Stranger Than Fiction content, where I go down all the various rabbit holes, non-crypto, non-economic content, go over to Rice Against the Grain and make sure you subscribed. Cool. Okay, my friend. Well, I'll have links down below for everything. If you can bear with me, I'm just going to do the wrap up here real quick. You can bounce. I know you got shit you got to do. I'll be in touch with you though. And next time you come through North Carolina, let me know. Maybe we can coordinate something.
Dude, definitely. You're Raleigh, right?
I'm in Winston, but I would love to visit the coast and the beach. So let me know. Yeah,
if I get like a Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach house for a week, dude, you're definitely invited.
Sweet, man. Cool. Well, it's good seeing you, and I'll see you tomorrow on ATB, and I'll be watching you today at 5:00 p.m.
All right, man. Sounds good. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. You take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I do want to remind you, just in case you didn't know, I had Mr. Bitcoin Ben Simchi on the channel yesterday. Make sure you check that out in case you missed it. Tomorrow, I will be joined at 2:00 p.m. by Crypto Jack. We're going to be going over Bitcoin and crypto chart analysis. So be sure to tune in for that. I also want to let people know that over on Rice Against the Grain, I have released my second interview with Jason Brashears from Archaics. Actually, what I'll do real quick is get a screen share, pull it up, so you guys can see some of the Rice Against the Grain content. So again, if you guys are fans of the Stranger Than Fiction content, where I go down the rabbit hole of fringe topics, the legal fiction, the law studies, the hidden alternative history, spirituality, and more, be sure you're subscribed over at Rice Against the Grain, because I am moving all that content over there and reposting older videos as well as newer videos. So just in the past few weeks, newer videos include an interview with Jacob Israel, an awesome conversation with Darko. The combination of Dr. Narco Longo makes me want to say Darko, and I don't know why. But Dr. Narco Longo from Old World, Florida. And then I had Pete Stone from the Sovereign Project. He was on the Sovereignty Project. And also, again, the interview with Jason Brashears from Archaics. And also continuing the Spirituality of Law series with Ethan Lucas. Tomorrow, I have a video coming out in regards to the legal fiction with Ethan Lucas. And then Friday, I will be releasing my interview with Sheriff Richard Mack. And you can get early access to the Sheriff Mack interview over on my Patreon channel. And the last thing that I'm going to share before I hit the live chat and wrap up today's video is I am doing a fundraiser. I am having a private website being built, use it private hosting and private servers. If you would like to get lifetime access and help me with my fundraiser, I'm trying to raise $5,000. I'm offering 50 people lifetime access for $100. Plus, you get a special gift of Rice TVX and Rice Against the Grain swag that I am including. That's $100. You can email Rice Media Group at protonmail.com and put lifetime in the subject line. And I've got about 17 spots open out of the 50 for lifetime access. So again, if you're interested, $100. I have information scrolling across the bottom of the screen right meow that shares my PayPal, my Cash App, and cryptocurrency addresses. And these are down below in the video description. So if you would like to support the channel and get access to this private website where you get early access to my videos, exclusive content, as well as a community building aspect where we can talk and communicate, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and check out the live chat, and then we're going to wrap up. Again, I want you guys to tune in to Around the Blockchain today at 5 o'clock p.m. Check out Deezy, and make sure you guys are watching tomorrow, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, because I will be appearing on Around the Blockchain. Matthew Bunna, thank you for tuning in. I see you had to leave, and you will finish later, so thank you. Let's see here. I wasn't even paying attention to the questions, Andy, and I apologize about the Jed cred thing. I do need to look a little bit more. I think it's an algorithmic stablecoin, if I'm not mistaken, but I definitely need to look more into it. Ivan, thanks for tuning in. Cripson Caravan Company. Bad Main Light, I saw you in the chat with, you joined us with Crypto Blood, I believe, this past Sunday. So good seeing you in the house. Gulag, good seeing you. Mr. Henry, Bob, David Brumbelow, thank you so much. I appreciate. Peace, my friend. Definitely Winston-Salem in the house. If you guys are in North Carolina, feel free to hit me up. I have my contact information down below in the video description. I would like to start getting meetups going. So I've talked to David about this, and I would like to make them become a reality. So anyways, make sure you are checking out the interview that I did yesterday with Bitcoin Ben. Make sure you are tuning in tomorrow at 2 o'clock p.m. for my live interview with Crypto Jack, Bitcoin and crypto chart analysis. And thank you for tuning in for today's video featuring Mr. Deezy about what's next for crypto and NFTs. Before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this, a little positivity, a little something to brighten your day. I encourage you, as always, treat people how you want to be treated. Be a blessing to others because it comes back around. Be the glitch that you want to see in the matrix. Be the change that you want to see in the world. And until next time, practice change.